Considering to move to South Berwick, Maine? Well, then join me as I discuss the top 5 reasons why I feel that South Berwick should be on the top of your list. Hi, my name is Aaron Rouse. I am a realtor with Remax Shoreline, and I have been a South Berwick resident for 2 years now, as of this week, actually. And in this video, I'm just going to discuss some of the reasons why me and my wife and our 3 children decide to relocate here. Maybe it'll be a good fit for your family too. So let's dive right into it. First reason that we came here was going to be a big one for everyone, and that was simply housing costs. I'm sure as if you've looked around here, you realize that housing costs in New England, and especially the Seacoast area of southern Maine and southern New Hampshire, are very expensive. Now, the most expensive market in this area is Portsmouth, and that's where we first lived when we moved here from Denver about 9 years ago. But when it was time to buy, we realized we just really couldn't afford as much house in Portsmouth. So we did what a lot of people were doing at the time, and we moved to Dover. Unfortunately, and Dover's a great town. We lived there for 6 years, and unfortunately, during that time, a lot of other residents were doing the same thing. So you saw housing prices in Dover starting to creep up as well. So when we went to house hunt 2 years ago, we had another baby on the way, just needed more room than we had in our house in downtown Dover. So we started shopping and quickly found that we could afford more house if we crossed the border into Maine rather than staying in New Hampshire. We're still only 10 minutes away, so we still have access to all the same amenities, but we got a house with a pool, a hot tub, a fully finished basement, and about 500 more square feet than I was looking at the exact same priced house in Dover. Plus, since we're in Maine, property taxes were about half as much as they are in New Hampshire. Now, a big reason for that is because New Hampshire does not have any income tax or any sales tax. So it has incredibly high property taxes because that is the main source of revenue for the state of New Hampshire. But that is a big consideration when you're looking at housing expenses and what you can actually afford and qualify for your mortgage. So we quickly found that, while we loved Dover, it made more sense for us and our family to move 10 minutes away across the border and be in Maine. Now, this might not be true for all families. You should talk with a tax professional to see what the tax implications for having income tax will be. But for us, it just made sense. Now, the second reason we decided to move here was a pretty simple one, and that was the schools. One of the other effects from New Hampshire having an uneven tax base, getting all their money from property taxes, is in a lot of ways they don't have the same funding for schools in some areas that they do in Maine, where we have a sales tax and an income tax. The Marshwood School District here, which covers the areas of South Berwick, Elliott, and strangely enough, Rollinsford, New Hampshire, it's a multi-state school district, is one of the best in the state, and certainly one of the best in the Seacoast area here. It is an excellent school with excellent after-school programs, excellent after-school care. Our kids love it. So it was a no-brainer to look at coming here rather than having to possibly consider the expense of private schooling in Dover. The third reason that we decided that we wanted to come here was for its charming small town atmosphere. Now, that is a strange thing for me to say. Prior to moving to New England, I had lived in Denver, Seattle, and LA. Now, all 3 of those cities have a higher population in the greater metro area, Denver being the smallest. than both the entire state of Maine and New Hampshire combined. So I was not used to small towns when I first moved out here. But after 6 years living in downtown Dover, I love Dover. So please take this with a grain of salt. But my kids were getting to the age where they started wanting to run around the neighborhood. And we lived 2 blocks off of Main Street. So being a right downtown in a more urban environment was a little bit more difficult. Whereas here we were able to find a nice place in the suburbs. It's a charming small town. And then I mean, it is very small. But being very small, it has additional opportunities. I joined the planning board, where I feel like I can have an impact on my town. You can have impact here too. Anyone who wants to participate here, we'd love to have you. So it's great being able to know all the shop owners on the street. It's great being able to know all the other parents in your school because they just live down the street. There's a lot of things about the small town I never thought I would really appreciate until I moved here. But it's really nice. You know, I feel like I'm a part of this community. I feel like I have an impact on the community, and I feel like the community is small enough that you can get to the point where you really know it well and know the people well, which is certainly different than Denver, Seattle, or LA. And certainly something I've grown to appreciate. Now, the 4th reason is its scenic beauty and outdoor recreation. You know, our house here, we're a half block from the river. Most of the houses are built along the Salmon Falls River. We've got Vaughan Woods, which is beautiful trails. We've got the Salmon Falls River, and Mount McMinnon is right here as well. So you've got excellent rivers, forests, parks, hiking, great, you can go kayaking, bird watching, a whole number of outdoor activities you can do. I love to trail run. So there's a trail run group here that we go, and in the summers every Wednesday we go running, and it's really a beautiful place to raise a family. And the 5th reason that we decided that we wanted to move to South Berwick, Maine, was its convenience, location, and its easy access to amenities. Here in South Berwick, like I said, we're 10 minutes from Dover, which is one of the larger population centers in the Seacoast Area. We're 20 minutes from Portsmouth, which is one of the major cities in this, is the major city in this area. It has the most shops, professional opportunities, biggest downtown, and most cultural opportunities. As well as we're about an hour from Portsmouth, little over an hour to Boston, and we've got so much for natural opportunities in that I can be on the beach in the Maine coast in York in 20 minutes. We can be at the biggest beach in New Hampshire in about 35 minutes. Skiing, hour and a half away, no problem. Lakes, an hour away. Whatever you want, it's all right here, ready for you. So you get to have that, you know, residents can still enjoy the shopping, the dining, the entertainment, the professional opportunities without sacrificing the tranquility of the suburban life. And it really adds to its charm. So these are the 5 reasons that me and my family decided to move to South Berwick, Maine. If you have questions about how South Berwick might be for your family, DM me here. I'd be glad to help you with any questions you may have. And please, if you like this video, hit like, check out the next video below. Maybe I can answer some more questions for you. Thank you so much for listening. Talk to you soon.